G'day guys, Calvin, Coaching Company New Zealand. So this one is for Dylan, who has got caught out with the differences in injector plugs. Okay, now he's bought China. China scored him. And I've got my box of China here, which actually is labelled cheap crap. Oh no, it isn't. It's various cheap, but it should actually read cheap crap. Problem is, not all of it's actually, some of it's actually okay. It's not all crap, but some of it is real crap. And I've got them for the to show the differences in this sort of stuff, and to look at them and to study them. And it's really interesting because some of them is absolute shit. You wouldn't want to touch it. Some of them is so good that I could pass it off as genuine. That is how good some of it is, and that becomes a real problem for the consumer who's buying it. And this is the differences in injectors. And I've got an, let's get into it. This style here. Whoop. Here's another one. There's one. And that's actually from a pretty good manufacturer. And then I found this bag as well. And then I've got how I buy them. This is how I normally buy them, okay? There's the connector part number, which I gave Dylan. And this one is out of one of these bags. So I now have 4 injector plugs laid out, and I've got 2 terminals which we're going to have a look at. So this is a real Toyota connector, a late model Toyota connector, and you'll notice it's got a lock. So it's got this lock in it, and this is a copy. I put them side by side. It's got the lock in it. It's got the lock in it. They even, if I turn them around, they even, if we get right in here, that is how good that one is. And notice that this part number does change, but the correct part number and everything is in there. And I can't actually tell them apart. That's the genuine. I put a mark on it to make sure. So they are good copies. Okay. And then we go to this style, which was, Toyota did use this style of injector connector in the really early looms, but not on 1UZs. I don't think. Oh, maybe in the early Crowns they may have. And you'll notice there's no white lock in it. This one's a small body, which we see. And then this is a copy, and they're often passed off with these part numbers on them. Similar style with the flat on it, but let's look inside. It's got the early model terminals. So as I said, Toyota did use the style. This is absolutely a copy, but Toyota did use the style in some early ones. And this also happens with the coil plugs as well. So that's the 2-pin coil plugs. Now let's look at the terminals. Now this is where the difference is, and this is I'm doing it under a camera, and it's really tricky. So we refer to this one as the rolled terminal. So you'll notice the terminal ends are rolled with a little lip in there. Okay, where this one is a different style, and it's sort of folded around to form the terminal. If we flip them over, you'll see where it locks into the injector body is different as well. Is length different? Yeah, length's different as well. So you can see this one is well back. So if you're trying to put them in, they're just simply not going to work, because it locks in the actual lock tab, which is that little plastic bit we see way inside there, locks into this hole here. As I said, just to summarise, Toyota did use the style. These are copies, and the terminals are different to this style, which is your main 1UZ one. Coil connectors, very quickly. No, I don't have that style. Oh, and IAC plugs. Just wait there. I'll just hold there for a moment. Call us. Right, they do it in igniter plugs too while I was thinking about it. So here is a IAC, idle speed control plug. You'll see it's coming out of a Toyota bag. See, it's got the white lock in it. You can see this one. This is coming out of a Sumitomo bag, which is the manufacturer for Toyota. So this is a genuine from the manufacturer. You'll notice there's no lock. Same deal. And each of those are commonly found on Toyotas. On the non-VVTIs, they have that. So again, the lock system. So you've got to watch that if you're buying connectors. Now, yes, I do sell connectors. I sell a lot of connectors. And I generally, what I do is I sell them with the terminal. So if you get the wrong one, you can crimp on the right connectors and seals, and that solves the problem. Okay. Got to remember, I'm refabbing these looms all the time, so this is the sort of shit that I come across frequently. Kind of geeky, because I'm into terminals and plugs and stuff. Anyway, hope that's been helpful. Talk to you again soon. Catch you later. And guys, this is how I buy a lot of my connectors in a bag like that from the manufacturer. That manufacturer is for Toyota. So it pays not to ask me where I buy my connectors, because most guys can't buy 2,500 or 5,000 at a time. But I'll sell you some. I'll definitely sell you connectors if you need them.